everyone, this is Tia Kirby. Welcome back to another episode of Heart of the Matter. Today we are getting to Heart of the Matter with CEO and founder of Boss Women Who Brunch, Marty McDonald. Hi, thank you for joining us. If you are new to Heart of the Matter, then let me tell you a little bit more about it. This is a platform where we get past the facade of social media, and I got it all together. This is a platform where people share their stories so that we can connect. You can find your story in someone else's and create community and see that everybody goes through something and life is not so perfect. We want to show you the triumphs and the trials. So if you are ready, let's get into Marty's story. Welcome back. If you are just joining us, we are here getting to the heart of the matter with CEO and founder of Boss Women Who Brunch, Marty McDonald. Today, Marty is going to share her story with us. And with all of that said, I'm handing the mic over.
Yeah, so thanks for having me on.
Absolutely.
First of all. It's so rare that I get interviewed. I'm constantly interviewing other people, so thank you so much.
Of course.
So when you were talking about trials and triumphs and just seasons that we go through,
Yes.
I instantly just thought of my season of miscarriage, which wasn't that long ago. I went through a season where we were really trying to get pregnant, and we had this plan in place.
Right.
And so I had my first miscarriage in, 2016, the end of 2016. And I didn't feel attached to it. I wasn't that far along. I think I was only like 8 weeks.
Gotcha.
So I wasn't that far along. But then I had my second miscarriage last year in October.
Wow.
And I was a little bit more connected to it. I was going to the doctor to hear the heartbeat.
Oh.
And there was no heartbeat.
Oh, wow.
And so it was really devastating. I had to go get a DNC done, but I didn't talk about it with anyone. Like I texted some people and was like, hey, I had a miscarriage. And I think I wanted people to reach out.
Right.
But nobody necessarily did because they didn't know what to do.
Right.
Or what to say. Because it's such a taboo topic. But so many people go through it.
So many.
And so that was just my season of loss. But how I was able to overcome. When I was going through this season, I was transitioning, trying to figure out if I was going to leave my job or not.
Mm.
And so if I had have stayed pregnant, I would have never had the courage to leave my job and to go full-time and full force with Boss Women Who Brunch.
Wow.
And so I kind of look at it this way now. I mean, it took me a while to get to this place, but it's more so the baby that I birthed was Boss Women Who Brunch. And so instead of looking at it like it was this tragedy that happened, it was just a moment where it's just not now. God has already shown me that I'm going to be a mother.
Yeah.
And I know that. And I know that when that season is to come, it's going to come and it's going to be a beautiful experience. But it's just not right now,
Right.
And so instead I have another baby I need to take care of and to nurture. And we're going through our terrible 2 stages because we just turned 2. And so I have to focus my attention on that.
Right.
And so if I had a baby, I wouldn't be able to necessarily put all of my energy and effort into this empowerment organization that I see going as a global organization.
It's huge. Yeah.
And so that was my tragedy. But also my light,
Yeah.
And so I advice I would give anyone else is really, number one, you can't be in control of everything.
Yes.
We want to always be in control.
Yes.
We want to
So
plan every single aspect, and I had to learn that. I had to learn that I'm not in control of every single thing. Allow God to do miraculous works in your life, Marty. Don't be in control of everything.
That's good.
And so that was one of my biggest ahas. But then also, you have to talk to people. You got to let people in. And so for me, it's hard being vulnerable and being open because I'm like, no, but I got it together.
Right.
You know, and nobody cares if you have it together or not. Like, there's still things that happen.
Yeah.
Surface level is one thing, but let people get into the core of who you really are.
Absolutely.
And the things that you are experiencing, because there's someone else who can relate to that story.
Yes. So let me ask you this. I want to take you back to your second miscarriage, and I know you said you were a little bit more attached. How was it, like, dealing with it? Like, when you first came home or first had the DNC, how was that experience for you?
Yeah, so I was very emotional. And the crazy part is I had the DNC on Wednesday. On the following Saturday, I had a boss brunch.
Shut up. And how did you...
Nobody knew that I had...
How did you get through, like, holding all of that in?
It's just, like, I'm just one of those people who I just have to go for it. I just have to put my emotions aside. I have to put my feelings aside and go after my dreams. And I think corporate America made me that way.
Gotcha.
You know? Where you just can't be emotional. You can't be in the boardroom crying.
Right.
You know?
Right.
So why am I going to cry in front of these people at my own business, you know?
And what would you say keeps you having the type of faith to know, even though this has happened twice, I know that I'm going to be a mom, so I can focus on this?
So I do this thing called visualizing. And so... sometimes I meditate. Sometimes I just get in quiet time. I'm a note writer. Like, I write on a lot of sticky notes and put them places where I see them all the time. I manifest a lot of things that I want for my life. And this is a new spiritual ritual for myself.
Gotcha.
Of me really writing the vision and making it plain.
Yes.
The Bible says that.
Absolutely.
And me taking that ownership over it. And not everything is going to go exactly the way you want it to go necessarily. But I'm sending a signal to the universe that I am ready for these things to happen for myself. And so in my, like, visualization, quiet time, God has just He's revealed things to me.
Yeah.
And I've been able to see things, and I've seen my family. And so I don't necessarily know when that's going to happen, where it's going to come from, but I know that those are the desires of my heart, and I believe that God is going to give me the desires of my heart.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think that is so good. And the reason I say that, the reason I asked you that question is really about faith. I know that part of my journey is to teach people to walk by faith, regardless of what it looks like, feels like, what you see in front of you. But sometimes it's hard when you are such a planner or such a control person or know how to go and make things happen, when this type of thing is outside of your control. And worrying about overthinking it, or how can we do this, or okay, we're ovulating right now, let's do it right now, let's do this. Like, how do you make it to where it's more of a let's just allow God to do his thing type of thing, and instead of getting so hung up on the anxieties of making this happen?
Yeah. So, and like full transparency, like we're not on any type of birth control or anything like that. And so in God's timing, it will happen. So I am definitely not like, babe, come on, let's go. I'm ovulating.
My legs are up in the air.
Yeah. I don't even check I used to check my ovulation calendar.
Yeah.
I used to know, I don't even do that anymore.
That's
I'm just
good.
like, when it's supposed to happen, it's going to happen.
Yeah.
And you just can't worry and control everything.
Yes.
But that's the season that I'm in right now.
Yeah.
Like, that's the lessons that I'm like, okay, let me hurry up and learn these lessons so I can get up out this season.
Right.
Real good.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to go through this again. But,
Yeah.
just not being in control of every aspect of your life, man, it takes so much fun out of things just happening.
So true. So that, folks, is faith. That's like when you are no longer like worried about it, but you're allowing God's timing. That is true faith. So how does this translate into Boss Women Who Brunch? You mentioned earlier that this is your baby. So tell everyone about Boss Women Who Brunch and how they can find you.
Yeah, totally. So Boss Women Who Brunch is an offline, online women's empowerment community and media company. Our goal and what we want to be known for is to host the largest brunch experiences throughout the world. And so you can find us on social media at Boss Women Who Brunch. That's our Instagram. We also have a private Facebook page called Boss Women Who Brunch that you have to get access to join. And then our website is bosswomen.org. We also just launched a podcast called Boss So Hard, where we interview B-list celebrities that have either created something really incredible through a brand, CEO of a company, or they're sitting in corporate America, sitting at the table, breaking glass ceilings in their own respective rights. And that's called Boss So Hard. You can find it on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Google Play.
I love it. I love it. Okay, so I have one more question for you. With someone who is wanting to create something or pour themselves into something, such as Boss Women Who Brunch, or who want to create a community, what advice would you give them to get started?
Okay, so I get this question often, and the first advice that I would say is be clear in what you want to create.
Yes.
So write down really what your goal is. What is the biggest goal that you have for what you're trying to create? And write that down. And then take every step that you need to take to back up to that goal to make it happen. So if you're trying to create, you're trying to be the biggest YouTube blogger that's out there, what are the steps that you need to take to back up to actually hit that goal and reach that goal?
What advice would you give someone who is going through a similar situation that you've gone through, and how can they get through it on a daily basis?
So I would say just again, it's really about allowing yourself to be on the journey of it all versus trying to control every step of the way. But really one of the most therapeutic things that I personally done, and some people it may help, is I write in a journal.
Yes.
And so when I necessarily don't feel like I can talk to everyone, I just write my thoughts out. And then I go back and read how I felt on that day, and it just helps me get through each day.
I love
that. And so that's what I did. I wrote. And actually, if some of you guys listen or are subscribed to our blog, I wrote a post about it, about the miscarriage and about how I was able to overcome really what I thought was like the biggest thing that had happened in my life. But then now looking back, I'm like, it was a blessing. You know, it was exactly the way God intended it to be. And but if I wasn't able to write that down and reflect over it, then now I still could be bitter about that.
Right.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that. Well, thank you again for joining us and for being on Heart of the Matter.
Yes.
If you are not tuned in, make sure that you go and follow Boss Women Who Brunch on Instagram, and go and sign up for the blog, and make sure that you stay tuned in at bosswomen.org. Is that correct?
Yes.
Awesome. All right. Thanks again for tuning in to another episode of Heart of the Matter. And I hope that you got some great tools. Make sure that you leave it down in the comment section below, and make sure that you subscribe to my channel, and check back on Fridays for another episode of Heart of the Matter.
Yes.
Until next time. Bye.